be called the keeper of the prophecy between our three guests and people in the chat if you want to play along too. So we're going to start it off. The first prophecy is when the calendar ends. Yes, write the answers in the chat, please. When the calendar ends, the stars will fall and men will awaken to a... Is this real? Is it truth or is this theory? When the calendar ends, the stars will fall and men will awaken to a new sun. Is that true?
Theory.
I say theory because we way past 2012.
Yeah.
Well, there's the theory
And
with
it hasn't happened
the
yet.
wrong calendar. So if we're on the wrong calendar, it would be 2025, I think.
So it's about there. Is this a real Mayan prophecy or no?
Yeah, it's a prophecy that they created.
Okay. So if it's a real Mayan prophecy, we'll just go with yes. Okay.
The prophecy doesn't mean it's real, though. That just means it's a prophecy.
No, that's just something that they said. Like, is this really a prophecy that they said, or is this something that we made up for the game tonight? I'm sorry if that confused me.
Oh, then it is a prophecy, I think.
Okay, it is a real prophecy. That one is a real prophecy. The next one is the gods will return disguised as merchants of fire and smoke. Is this a real prophecy or is it a made up prophecy?
I never heard it.
That was good though.
Right?
The gods will return disguised as merchants of fire and smoke.
I mean, it could be real. I could see that as being like the warlords.
It's definitely a made up one. We made that one up. Okay.
All right, the next one is a serpent of light will descend from the heavens when the end draws near. A serpent of light will descend from the heavens when the end draws near. Is that truth or theory?
That's fake. Fake news.
A serpent, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah, snaky.
Everybody saying it's fake? This one is real. It is the ancient prophecy.
That the Mayans said. Yes.
All right, how about this one? When the moon bleeds thrice, the earth shall tremble. When the moon bleeds thrice, the earth shall tremble. Is this truth or theory?
It's true once a month for me.
I'm dead.
That's all we need to know right there.
That's all you need to know.
Because forget, man. But that one is indeed made up.
My house will tremble.
That is
the whole
funny.
house trembles. Okay. So this one. 13 heavens, 9 hells, and 1 great turning of the wheel, then comes rebirth. Is that a real Mayan prophecy or is it fake? 13 heavens, 9
Gotta be
hells.
fake.
That's from the Wheel of Time, Cap.
Comes rebirth. No, people in the chat, y'all got it. That's a real one. It's about their belief regarding the 13 heavens and the 9 underworlds.
Yes, they did. I am one.
Okay, so with all that being said, guys, that was just the first part of our game. The Mayans weren't just ancient people. They were out here supposedly building massive cities, tracking the stars better than some modern scientists, and somehow creating one of the most accurate calendars ever. They understood math, time. I feel weird saying that. They understood math, time, and astronomy on levels that still blow scientists' minds today. Their temples were aligned with the planets. their calendar predicted solar eclipses, and somehow their end of the world date, 2012, had the entire planet panicking. Like everybody was panicking. I remember it. I know y'all remember it too, right? Like the whole world was supposed to end in December. What was it? December 21st,
December.
2012?
Yeah, 2012.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
I thought it was May. I don't know.
Yeah, y'all remember it?
I'm just gonna make up a date and start my own rumor.
I'll help
You'll
you
like
with
it
the
tomorrow.
It might catch on. You never know. You never know. And something like that can definitely get everybody a little bit confused. But going into our first question, do you think the Mayans truly predicted the end of the world in 2012, or was that just a misinterpretation of their calendar? This is about their prediction of the end of the world in 2012. Let's start with Emoji J.
I would say it was misinterpreted. Because I mean, does anybody really know when the calendar actually ends,
Not sure.
or when it actually really started? So I think it was misinterpreted by people in modern time.
Okay. Okay. How are you feeling about that, Conspiracy Barbie?
So there's a couple different things. There's a theory where we're using the wrong calendar and there's supposed to be 13 months. And if we go off of that calendar, it's supposed to be this year that the world theoretically ends. And then the other theory is that the world spiritually shifted into a different dimension, and it was the old consciousness dying off and a new consciousness beginning. So like the end of the old and the beginning of a new, which in the prophecy, it does say that there's going to be a new sun. So
Right. And that would make a lot more sense. Something that's more symbolic, something that's spiritual, that may be in the natural we're trying to understand.
Start of a new era. Yeah.
Couldn't understand. Mia, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm in alignment with my other two guests here. I think it was a misinterpretation. I also think potentially they had just run out of paper, so
I'm dead. Not to run out of paper. They needed to go to Walmart for the rest.
They ran out of cave wall. So it looks like it ended, but they just needed more cave wall or something.
I'm dead.
No, but definitely 2012. I mean, think about it. It was the rise of social media. Things radically changed for us as a society. Consciousness continued to rise. More people becoming spiritual, more people getting into astrology, human design, and things like that. So I think a metaphorical, figurative ending of times, but not like the world is imploding, Y2K, whatever, because Y2K also didn't really happen.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. Basically, I would definitely say I'm in agreement with all the guests here. I do personally lean toward the idea that it symbolized more of a spiritual awakening on a mass consciousness level, a reset, not destruction, right? Some people panicked in 2012 thinking that the world would literally end, but others believe that it just marks the end of an era, not existence, right?
An end of old computer era.
Yeah. What do you guys think in the chat? Did we misread the message, or did something actually shift around that time? What's your thoughts in the chat?
Are you still with us, chat? You're going a little bit to the left.
So technically they're going to the right.
You're shifting all around, yeah. Oh, shifted.
The chat went rogue. That's been the word of the week. Everything's been going rogue.
I did see earlier a lot of people said misinterpretation and end of an era and stuff like that.
Okay.
And you know what? And I think because we all experienced it and are able to look back and see it for what, you know, it could possibly be, versus obviously the physical world didn't end. So we're here to continue to discuss what it could have been. But for everybody that has joined since we started, welcome to Truth or Theory, the show where curiosity meets consciousness. Stay tuned, because next we're going to be talking about how the Mayans knew so much about the stars and whether that knowledge came from above, literally. So hit the star above to fave me, the host, all of our guests in the stream. We have Mia, Conspiracy Babe, Barbie, and Emoji J here. So make sure so you can keep track with us every single week as we come back.
Yes. Okay, so on to question 2.
Okay.
So question 2, the Mayans were incredible astronomers. Do you believe their knowledge came purely from observation or possibly from something otherworldly? I want to hear your takes on this. We're going to start with Conspiracy Barbie, then Emoji J, and then Mia. Oh, sorry.
What was
I
the?
think I heard a fan or something. That's
I
better
couldn't
now.
hear the question.
Okay, the Mayans were incredible astronomers. Do you believe their knowledge came purely from observation, or was it from possibly something that's otherworldly?
I believe otherworldly. There's a lot of theory around like the Watchers and the fallen angels coming down to Earth to help create civilization, and they give us forbidden knowledge like the Anunnaki, right? So if we look at all of the civilizations with the pyramids, they all had very advanced knowledge of all the things that they had knowledge of, right? The astrology, the way the world worked, the energy of the earth itself, how to plant certain things. Like if you look at the rainforest, like they literally made the rainforest a living garden. So I do believe that they had advanced knowledge.
I love that. Okay, what about you, Emoji J? Do you want me to reread the question?
Yeah, can you reread the question?
Yeah. The question is, the Mayans were incredible astronomers. Do you believe their knowledge came purely from observation or possibly from something otherworldly?
I think they were advanced enough that they could have their ways to log, what was going on in the solar system and use the planets to their knowledge. I just think they were great observatories. And I think that there was people that were higher up in their society that really knew what they were doing when it came to astrology.
Okay. I like that. I like that. A little mix here. A little mix. Okay, what about you, Mia? You want me to reread the question?
I got it. Thank you. I'd say both. They're very spiritual people. They're very connected to the earth. So that requires a certain amount of observation. Also, someone said in the chat, they didn't have like this advanced, like the technology we know today, like the distractions that we have. So that they had a lot more ability to observe, and definitely, absolutely otherworldly. Like being with the Mayans, like I lived in Guatemala for 6 months, and I spent a lot of time with Mayans and shamans, like literally in the jungle and stuff like that. Like, and even just the land itself, it's definitely a vortex. It feels otherworldly, and I mean like alien, whatever, other dimensions, all that stuff that we've talked about on this show as well. They definitely were connected to that. So I say both, because you have to be observant to even perceive the otherworldly gifts.
Okay, I love that.
All right. And so there are a lot of facts that we do know, and I'm glad that we brought up the Anunnaki, because it does kind of correlate, and I love how a lot of our topics is kind of like meld into each other. So when it's talking about their temples lining up perfectly with celestial events, we know we've heard that about the pyramids as well. So the eclipses, the equinoxes, all that type of stuff is not just easy, math. Those are complex things, right? They were also just way ahead of their time. And I was thinking of that when Mia was saying that, because a lot of times our interpretation of what could be advanced technology might be different, because we always think about like, how did they do what they did back then? And we're thinking ancient was just outdated, as if we're ahead of them, but then time is really relative. So some ancient astronaut theorists say that they were guided by beings from the stars. And so others think that they were just simply observed for generations. Either way, I think that if you're observing astrology for a long time, that's still being guided by the stars. So I like to think it's a little mix of both human brilliance, because let's not count ourselves out. We're, we evolve and we got smarter. And then cosmic guidance, of course. So yeah.
I love that. Well, thanks for tuning into Truth or Theory. Let us know if you want to be a part of the Truth or Theory community so we can add you to the group chat on Instagram. Tonight's topic is Mayans. We're barely scratching the surface. We are about to head into the next part of our game to figure out who is the keeper of the prophecies. We're reading, the rules are simple, just answer truth or not. And then to the prophecies that we're going to read out. So the first one is, when the children forget the old songs, the sky will cry for them. Is this a real prophecy that the Mayans did? Or, hold on. My cat's trying to get out. Go.
Think it's real?
The cat is a prophecy.
When the children forget the old songs, the sky will cry for them. I think everybody think it's real.
I think that sounds like that's from the bubonic plague times. Around the rosy.
Creepy.
Cap.
Final answer?
It is made up. That one is made up. Yeah. So, okay, the next one. The corn will vanish when men stop honoring the earth mother. The corn will vanish when men stop honoring the earth mother. Is this real or is this?
That's from Interstellar.
I'm dead.
I saw one true, and that one is real. It's linked to the agriculture and spiritual warnings in the Mayan lore. Yeah, so that one was real. So Yana, you got that one. Fake corn. Fake corn.
All right. Next, we have the next sun will rise from within the people, not above them. Is that truth or theory? The next sun will rise from within the people, not above them.
That sounds like that's from the Bible.
People are saying true.
Hi, Rachie.
Everybody saying, anybody else? Truth at sea. Why is it that we're all backwards? Mia, you're right. That's definitely made up a little modern spiritual remix we kind of threw on that one. All right.
Don't lie to me.
And it's so funny how literally, like, most of the ones the majority will say it's true when it's false. It's so crazy. How about this one? The jaguar will return when man loses its courage. The jaguar will return when man loses his courage.
Hello.
That's from Mufasa.
You think it's true?
I think it's true.
Okay.
You said it sounds like it's from Mufasa, but you said you think it's true.
I mean, because they all sound fire, but that is definitely made up. It was just inspired by the Mayan totem symbolism. So
it's from Madagascar.
That's the last one for this section. The gods of fire and wind will fight in the sky. Their children will fall like stars.
Oh, that's
true.
That's true. That sounds
The gods of fire and wind will fight in the sky, and their children will fall like stars.
Sounds like Game of Thrones, but
what you thinking? What the heck, Conspiracy Barbie?
I don't know why he keeps meeting them.
When they're talking, I hear like I don't know if it's a fan or something.
that's what she's typing.
I'm in my garage, so that's like
No, when she types is when I hear it.
If it sounds weird, it's true. That one is real, guys. That one's real. Welcome to Truth or Theory. This is a space where we think differently, we dive deep, and we question everything in a fun and curious way. Please save all of our guests and anyone active in the stream, and let us know if you'd like to be a guest for any future topics so we can add you to the group chat on IG. Tonight's topic is about the Mayans, and we have already asked 2 questions and played a bit of our game. Now we're going to be moving into the 3rd question for our guests.
All right, question number 3. If the Mayans were so advanced in math, agriculture, and astrology, what do you think caused their civilization to decline? I'm gonna ask again. If the Mayans were so advanced in math, math, agriculture, and astrology, what do you think caused their civilization to decline? Let's start with Conspiracy Barbie.
I think evil destroys evil, and the Mayans, as we know, have a long history of, child sacrifice, that type of thing. I believe that, the little fingers of evil kind of got into their society and took it out from within, or they elevated and went into a different dimension. That's another theory I've heard talked about a little bit.
I like that theory.
Yeah, that takes it deeper right there. How you feeling, Mia? Anything that you've came across about their decline?
I can't say what I really want to say, so I'm gonna say colonizers.
Oh.
I'm not but I do like that theory that they ascended. So let's also go with that. But good old colonization, the old time gentrification. That's all I'm gonna say about that right now for a featured show.
Okay.
Most definitely. And I think it could be, I think just like we were talking about before, it's like a natural side to it. And then it's a spiritual side to, like, how things may have came to that point. Emoji J, what do you think?
Societal breakdown, meltdown. They looked some of that up, but environmental stress, political conflict, and I guess the trade routes shifted as well. So they just had a political meltdown. The people didn't believe what the rulers were saying and stuff like that. So it happens in society. I mean, it could happen to us too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's what most of the information we all came across. It was a lot of different causes that were, kind of thrown around. It could have been drought, famine, internal conflict, or maybe something deeper like the mass migration, or cosmic event, even like, what we already mentioned. Some say that they just evolved and kind of merged into other cultures. And others think that it was just something catastrophic that just, erased them altogether. Very interesting.
Yeah, I just want to kind of give feedback to one of the comments. Poppy, so this show is actually exploring our perspectives and opinions. If you would like to stick around and maybe, answer some of the questions, we are definitely welcome to that. But personally, I think for the Mayans, I think they reached a point of transition, like a vibrational shift. But then when I'm hearing y'all, I'm kind of thinking like, okay, because think about it like this, like some people reach certain points in their life and it's not about being in the limelight anymore. Like we just want to be comfortable and live our life in peace, right? I don't know exactly what happened, but I feel like it looked like what Mia was around, that looks like peace to me. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they just went through a vibrational shift and wanted to not be so connected to the rest of the world in a sense. But Yeah.
Did you want to go over those last two, or that's it for the top?
Yeah, so about they reached the point of transition, and then could their collapse have been like more intentional? Like they knew something the rest of the world didn't? Like did they go into hiding because they knew something, you know? But yeah, somewhere around there for me.
And
Aliens
I
reactor.
think it could be a combination of like a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really think when it comes to a whole civilization and talking about like a certain era of time, you can really pinpoint something that big, you know. But yes, you guys are locked into Truth or Theory. Thank you for helping us keep these conversations alive. Remember that this is a safe space for open minds and curious souls. And the top 3 gifters tonight will get a special shout out on Instagram.
Okay, so before we move into the next set of our game, I do want to do like an open discussion. Me, I got the chance to spend some time with Mayans. So, I mean, if you would like to share anything, and I know you said you spent 6 months there. Kind of just wanted to hear some of the highlights, maybe some of the things that shocked you in a sense, or you wasn't really ready for. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you the floor to share about that experience, since that's the topic tonight.
Yeah, thank you. So I ended up in Guatemala, as one does when you're a digital nomad, and I ended up staying. I planned to only be there for a couple of weeks, and I ended up staying there for 6 months because it was just so beautiful. Y'all could look it up. I stayed near a place called Lake Atitlan, which is near Antigua. Antigua is like the biggest city close to that place, and it's a huge lake, and there's tiny towns all around the lake, and you travel by boat to the different towns, and it's surrounded by 3 volcanoes, and it's a very spiritual place. A lot of people study spirituality there with assistance from nature, if you know what I mean. And I ended up, finding a couple of shamans that lived near there. Like one owned a cacao shop. So Mama Cacao, it's basically the bean or whatever that you use to make like hot chocolate, but don't call it hot chocolate because it's Mama Cacao. But they're very connected to the earth and make all kinds of things with the earth, and pray to different spirits. And I would do weekly ancestral healing circles led by Mayan shamans. And they're, the civilization is gone, like whatever we were talking about, but they're still there. Like they still exist. They're indigenous people of the land. They have really cool languages. I kind of started to learn a little bit of two. So I learned a little bit of Tutuhil and Cachaquel. And it's very spiritual. They're like fire, cacao, different herbs and plants. They're just very connected to all of it. And their calendar is very accurate. I actually studied it pretty deeply the whole time that I was there. Each day of the year has a certain number and an animal. I don't know why I put it in quotes, but they don't call it by the English name. It's by the name of their language. So each day has a number and an animal. And when you look at the vibration of the number and the animal together, it really like describes that day. And it's quite accurate. You can do like a birth chart reading and things like that. And it's actually, they don't have like that extra quarter of a day like we do. It's not the Gregorian calendar. Like some people were saying in the comments, it's 13 months with like a day in between. That's like a full day in between. That's a transitional day in between the 2 years. Yeah, it is just really, really cool. And I've never felt more connected to my spirituality and the earth. I was like, Pocahontas was from somewhere else, but I was like living my Pocahontas life. That's like the pop culture reference that I could think of. She's not Mayan though. It was really, really cool. And I had a deep respect for what they do and how they live. It's a very simple life. And, you know, advanced technology is really perception, because as far as I'm concerned, you know, I was like walking around barefoot, like literally Colors of the Wind style, and living my bohemian life. And it felt so advanced to me. Like I felt so connected to myself, to others, and all of that. And it's almost like when I came back to the United States, it's like phones are in everyone's face, technology everywhere. It was just kind of weird and different. And so who's really advanced? Who's to say? They're living pretty happy that we just, most of us in the modern world don't know anything about.
I love that. People sharing, that sounds like, it honestly sounds like a once in a lifetime experience. And I'm glad you was able to really go and experience that, because I'm gonna be real, I didn't really know that much about the Mayans, and doing, like, preparing for the show, kind of like a lot of the topics, like I do have to kind of deep dive into some things on my own because I don't know anything about it. And I don't even, you know, in my head, I didn't even understand that Mayans, I thought in a way that they were extinct. So I had to learn the difference. Like, they're not extinct. Their civilization just started to what? Like, how would you explain that? What would you call crumble?
Dissolve, being absorbed by other people.
Destroy itself.
It no
I think
longer
it's the same
exists.
thing that's happened with so many other groups of people. Like for um, Black Americans, we know the Gullah people,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, down south. Like it's like, again, the present still being there, but then it depends on who's telling the story, how the narrative actually gets translated to other people to actually understand. And I think that those that remain now, first it started out with just trying to make sure that things did not get lost in that translation, staying on the sacred land and passing down the traditions and ways of life. And then it just got to a point to where it's just like, I don't think, because everything I know about the Mayans is from divine, from a past life. Ixchel is one of the goddesses that I reverence and have been working with for a very long time. And so I definitely know like a lot. I think after a certain amount of time, it's like whether people realize they're there or not, the influence is there. Because as we talked about the Anunnaki and different things like that, what we learned and what we were able to take from that. And as people were talking about in the chat, just what we're doing now versus, you know, like what did Detroit River say? We're going backwards. And I was saying like we should, because some of the things that we're tapped into now, like Mia was saying, and everybody was agreeing, it's a lot of distractions. And when we eliminate all those things, it will make us feel more high vibrational, which then makes us feel more evolved than just everything being so-called attached to modern technology.
Yeah, the Amish have it right.
Thank you.
Right? Simple. Sometimes life just is simple and we complicate it.
Yeah. Okay. What's one thing that modern society could learn from the Mayans based on you in the chat? You guys can answer if you'd like. I want to hear from my guests. What's one thing you think modern society could learn from the Mayans?
Well, I think one thing that we could learn from the Mayans is having balance with nature, but that's like all of the indigenous tribes around the world that we've wiped out, right? We took them out because they were in balance and harmony with nature. So they were able to, I guess, like be neutral instead of like take, they would also give back. And I feel like that gave them power. You know, they were close to the seasons. They had all their techniques down to be able to preserve food, all of that stuff, without having to overcomplicate it with like a Federal Reserve, banks, all of these things that they now essentially keep us caged in with. So I feel like we could really advance and grow if we could go back to our roots.
I love that. Did Emoji J, did you want to add anything about this topic, or did you have any specific questions you might want to ask to the chat?
What I mean, I guess probably like what do you think were the major things that was made the downfall of the society? What was the major key factors do you think that happened and why it crumbled? That's to anyone here, not just chat.
I think that's kind of what I was asking, but in a different way, in a sense of when I said I didn't even realize that it was still like an active group of Mayans in different places of the world, you know, kind of similar to different races, how different races has been kind of wiped out in a sense. I don't, you know, it's different theories why, but that's kind of what I got from the gist of what the chat is saying and our guest is saying. What's
I
eugenics?
mean, every society, you
That's a
know,
whole other topic, girl.
old society has failed at one point, but there still remains of that society, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys know if they're like when they were colonized, if there was a bunch of diseases that were introduced? 'Cause I know with other civilizations, that was a weapon that they typically used. I've never looked into it.
What was the
I
name of
don't.
it?
I wouldn't say that I can pinpoint them specifically, but that's usually that was usually the start of it. Because coming
Yeah.
in to not go too deep with it, but just the bare bones of when somebody's coming in and trying to first coming in under the guise of just trying to learn or just trying to be adjacent to, and then being a group of people that don't live exactly the same, don't have the same hygiene, don't have the same habits, don't eat the same foods, things like that. And what people don't understand when it comes to natural medicine, plant medicine, using what the body would better respond to when diseases get introduced into a group of people um, that again are living different, whatever plants or whatever medicine that we're used to mixing up on this side, let's just say it's not going to have the same effect that it would, because the body is amazing in the way that it adjusts and it will do its best. But immunity comes from being exposed to something and the body having a chance to be able to fight it, so that when it gets introduced to it again, it knows, oh, okay, this, I know what this is foreign, and let's do what we have to do. But plant medicine, obviously, it's a lifestyle. So it's not something, it's not like the pill, like they're talking about going to CVS. You can't just be like, oh, I got a headache, I'm gonna take this pain pill. No, you can use some rosemary, you can use some you put the ingredients together, but it more so is effective when it's a continual, it's already part of your diet, it's already a part of your lifestyle. That's what's gonna make a difference. So that's how those diseases were able to really clear people out, because when you combat something natural with not natural, because some of those diseases came from like animals and a bunch of different things, then it's an imbalance that happens.
Yeah, for example, I take turmeric for natural inflammation prevention, and you have to take that for weeks before it's super effective. So it's
You
just
see
about
what I'm
continuing.
saying? Yeah, it takes time. The body will take it on and do what it needs to do, but you can't expect it to be like a microwave type of thing. And so think about that back then, taking out large groups of people, and maybe people having to try to move away. Now we're fighting. It's just it introduced a lot of things that wasn't, as we were talking about peace. Because just imagine being in your own house and you're used to doing things your own way, and somebody just, first they just move in and they next door, and you're like, okay, there's some neighbors, and then next thing you know, they in your front yard, and next thing you know, they didn't came into your house. You look like too much adjusting that you have to do. Where eventually, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I view it, without like details, because it's happened, like we said, so many times, so many groups of people. It's unfortunate, but I think that it's amazing. Again, humans, we've found a way to be able to still get past that. And so it's good to know that, again, we're looking at it like ancient civilizations, but they're still a people, and they're still amazing at what they do, and there's still a lot that we can learn from them. Not necessarily ancient, but even right now today, what they're
Yeah.
doing.
That's literally the shift, like the mindset shift for me. Like really this week, but then even more today. Another question is, what exactly do you think the Mayans were trying to tell us through their calendar? Was it a warning or wisdom? And I'm gonna save Mia for last to answer this because I feel like you said you did a deep dive into the Mayan calendar, so I'm excited to hear about that. Conspiracy Barbie, do you think it was more of a warning or like more of like, you know, some wisdom they were trying to give to us with their calendar?
I feel like it was to prepare us for the time where the earth is going to shift, the frequencies are going to shift. Around the Mayan calendar, you know, ending, even if we're looking at the regular calendar, we were going into the age of Aquarius, we were moving into a whole different like energy shift. Our Schumann resonance started acting insane. If you guys don't know what the Schumann resonance is, that's like essentially the earth's heartbeat. And since 2012, it's been going crazy. And since 2020, it's really been going crazy. Okay. And we had another shift. I think it was the 22nd of December, 22 was another shift. And that was when we officially shifted into the new age. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but since 2012, it's been wild. So I feel like it was just like a preparedness guide. Like, hey guys, like, just so you know, this is when stuff's really gonna get weird. So just prepare yourselves.
I don't think we listened, but I agree though.
I did, I'm
Unless they're
homesteading.
trying to listen.
Yeah, I think it was a warning. I think that we could possibly fall into the same, you know, traps, I guess, as you want to call it, as they did. Same type of cycle. I mean, it's a warning to basically, hey,
I am on, chill out.
huh?
No, go ahead,
sorry.
Emoji.
That you know, just be careful of what happened to us, you know, and it could happen to you type of thing. I think it was just, you know, kind of like a little instruction manual to be like, hey, be cautious of your surroundings.
I like that. I like that. Okay, Mia, let me ask the question again. What do you think the Mayans were trying to tell us through their calendar? Was it warnings or is it wisdom? Were they giving warnings or wisdom?
I'm gonna say wisdom. Just like I said, spending time with them and studying the calendar with them and learning what each day means and seeing how closely tied to nature and the seasons the calendar is. And then also contrastingly studying our calendar, you know, the Gregorian, it was literally made up. Like King Augustus and King Julius, like they just wanted more days. That's why they took from February and just added it on. It's just this made up thing by these egotistical, arrogant monarchs. Whereas the Mayan calendar actually follows the moon, the sun, the stars, all of that stuff. So I think everything that they have for us is wisdom. And, you know, depending on your perspective, a warning is also wisdom. But I never experienced them or any other indigenous people to be doom and gloomy. That's not really their vibe. There's very much a general acceptance of the cycles and seasons of life, of birth and death. There's very much like a surrender and not need to control. It's like, you know, it's like asking a hurricane not to be wet or a tornado not to be windy. Like it is what it is. So I wouldn't use the word warning with that. I think everything is all wisdom. And I do like the word that Conspiracy Barbie used, prepare, like be prepared.
Yeah, I like that, to prepare. I like that. Okay, hi Queen Ricky. Okay guys, we are going to go into the last segment of the game. We're gonna close out with that. I guess we can do, if you are just tuning in, welcome to Truth or Theory. This is a safe space. We like to think differently, dive deep, and question everything in a fun and curious way. Tonight's topic has been about the Mayans. We've asked our guests more than the 3 questions we were supposed to. And we've played a few segments of our games, but we're vibing, and I appreciate everybody in the chat that has been chilling and being respectful and playing along with the games and partaking in the conversation. Thank you. Okay, so now the game is, it's simple. We'll read different Mayan prophecies, and you in the chat and our guests just say if it's true or if it's false. It's true if you think it's a real Mayan prophecy, something that the Mayans really predicted. Big bonus, thank you. And false if you think we just made it up for the game, okay? So the first one, a new world will begin when metal replaces the tree. A new world will begin when metal replaces the tree. Is this true or is this made up?
That's from the
Made up.
Matrix. Made up.
Yeah, y'all
That
didn't
like,
waste any time.
The world's gonna end when
That was-
robots take over.
Okay, yeah, that was great.
Now hold on
This
now.
is a metaphorical play on technology.
That's the topic for next time.
Happening right now.
Because I'm about to say, hold on, we
We need
might
to
be
do
some truth
that.
in that after
That's
all.
real life, girl. That's real life.
It's the tree, the tree of life. No. When the 4 corners of the earth meet, the old world will be reborn. Okay?
That's not
When the
true.
4 corners of the earth meet, the old earth will be reborn. Is that?
I knew the earth was flat. Kidding, sorry.
I don't think somebody.
I
told you.
Fake news.
Okay, that one was real. When the 4 corners of the earth meet, the old world will be reborn.
All I can think of is my head is like a piece of paper folding in half and everything getting squished.
And literally pictures like
Literally,
That is
it's
true.
a Mayan creation myth concept.
That's really weird that the Mayans have something about the earth having 4 corners, and the Bible also has, there's a lot of civilizations with 4 corners.
Who busted it? Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Y'all.
Okay, if you don't know how to say that.
Girl, you know I don't. You know I don't. And I always, I always get words I
Get
can't
you at
pronounce.
least one time each one.
The whole time I'm sitting there looking at it like,
Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl.
Sure.
Say that 5 times. Quetzalcoatl.
what? We're going to say that. Quetzalcoatl.
right.
I'm not even going to change it because I don't even know. Quetzalcoatl. This is mine. This is the one Rose wanted to make sure that I embarrass myself with. Quetzalcoatl will walk again when the drums of thunder echo in the north.
Quasimodo?
I say it has to be true because the word
That's
is too
exactly what I
hard.
sound like.
It's true. Yeah, I'm a steel conspiracy Barbie.
It's the big word for me.
It's, yeah.
You know,
It has to be
It's
true because you put a
Quasimodo
big
for
word
me.
in it.
Can't
That's
pronounce the
good.
word, it's true.
hey, that's the underplay for the overplay because that mug is made up.
No way! You made up
That
a
is
Quetzalcoatl?
Because I need to really,
No.
I need to put that in and get the right pronunciation. But that one was like an Aztec inspired crossover, so it wasn't.
Oh, you tricked us with the Aztecs.
When I tell you,
Reverse psychology.
but even some of the Mayan, you know, because the language evolves as well. When I look at some of those words, I'll be like, is it supposed to be how it looks, or because it's? I mean, you know, it's not Spanish for sure. Next
Yeah,
one.
whenever I'm reading stuff out and I can't pronounce it, I'll just stumble through it and be like, you guys know I can't pronounce anything. Just keep it moving.
Words are hard.
definitely hard. But going back to what it made me think of what Mia was saying about the calendars, it's like we're the ones that made all this up. Like even the words that we choose to speak, humans made this up. So we really did ourselves in on that one. Water will rise higher than the temples, and silence will rule for 9 moons. Is this truth or theory? Water will rise higher than the
Noah's Ark.
temples, and silence will rule.
I was gonna say that was Noah's Ark.
That was Noah's Ark.
She did not help herself.
So is it true?
The way she tried to stop herself from saying it is insane.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. You don't think they use months?
His moon.
Not in that way.
Not
They use it
For
said
dying
moons.
moon.
Moon.
Right. So moons is months. If you think about it, if we're doing it right, Conspiracy Barbie, threw that out a couple times and her answers is just about the differences. But that one is made up. That one is made up. It can sound very prophetic, but we just, threw that on it.
Tell that to Noah.
Okay. Okay. The fifth son shall die by its own creation. The fifth son shall die by its own creation. Is that one real or fake?
Fake, fake, fake.
It's true.
S-U-N, the sun in the sky.
Son, yes, that one is actually true. It's from the five sons. It's a creation cycle concept shared in Mayan and Aztec belief. So, yeah, look up the five sons.
I like that.
And then the people of maize will turn to dust, and from their dust, new seeds will grow.
Children of the corn.
Remember last time the corn one. Think about it.
So it's true then, because the corn one was true last time.
You got it right.
Unless you're trying to trick us, Quasimodo.
Okay, so that one is real. It's a symbolic.
I love you guys. I give you a hint.
Yes, it's a symbolic cycle of rebirth found in different Mayan texts. Okay, you got to do that.
See, I gave you a hint. I wouldn't throw you off that bad. Okay.
You did that.
When time forgets itself, eternity begins. Truth or theory? When time forgets itself, eternity begins.
I forget what time it is all the time.
Multiverse of madness.
I like
Sorry.
how.
I forget the time. I forget the time all the time. What time is it again?
For real though, that's how I be feeling. Like we're in
Did you say
twilight zone.
forgives or forgets?
Forget.
Forgets. Time forgets itself.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
what
a
does
Doctor
time do?
Strange quote.
What time is it again?
Is when time forgets itself, eternity begins.
He did. The best memory.
That is so true. That is so true on so many levels. Time has the best memory. Oh my goodness. But yes, guys, that is made up. That is absolutely made up. It's just some pseudo psychological, philosophical type of stuff.
We
It
made
kind of had us thinking backwards for a second though. Like we were trying to figure it out. The next
It
one,
was a riddle.
the bones of kings will whisper through the roots of trees.
That's definitely from Mufasa.
Yeah, is that Game of Thrones?
I don't know. Tell me, is it true or truth or
It's
theory?
not real. No.
Everybody's saying truth. Truth. Rafiki?
Rafiki.
I don't believe
Rafiki said that.
A lot of people
It is 100% false.
Yeah, I said.
100%.
I knew it.
false.
It is. It's nice and poetic, isn't it?
Okay.
Y'all say to go with the gut feeling, so I went with the gut feeling.
The next sun will not rise until mankind learns to see in darkness.
Well, the sun's rising tomorrow, so I think that's false. Just saying.
I mean, technically, we can see in
The
darkness now
next
with those
sun
glasses.
will not rise until mankind learns to see in the darkness.
Detroit said we was. Look,
Uh,
let me
that's
tell
from
you.
the Jedi.
So that one is made up.
That
It's
doesn't
just a
sound
reflective
real.
twist on a certain enlightenment theme. Those who remember will guide those who sleep, and from their union, light shall return.
That sounds real.
Lord of the Rings.
That one's real. That
Period.
one's real. It's a loosely adapted from the Mayan rebirth cycle inscription. So yeah, that one is real. But great timing.
Tonight we explored the prophecy, cosmic wisdom, and the mystery of a civilization that seemed to know more about the universe than we do today. And I learned a lot from you guys. This was very enjoyable. So, truth or theory? Were the Mayans predicting the end or just reminding us to begin again? We just want to thank everybody for being here, for keeping it respectful, for sharing your minds with ours. And then next week, we're going to get real about something every single one of us carries. Okay, we're going to be talking about pain.
Yeah, so join us next week as we explore pain, how it shows up, what it teaches, and how we can transform through it. Until then, stay curious, stay kind, and always question everything. Okay?
Thank you.
Weakness.
Thank
Shout out to y'all.
Thank you.